Hello. First, I want to say thank you for a great start. We're in day 3, and I believe that you have done an outstanding job as a student body. You're focused, you're really listening to your teachers, and I appreciate your efforts. Please continue to do that. Show the character that I know you're capable of. Keep focused on doing what's right in every situation. Keep the noise level down in the hallways, and make sure that you're respecting everyone you see and talk to. A couple things I want to talk about briefly today. My video won't be as long, but it is very, very important, so please listen to what I have to say. If you want to, you can get out your handbook and reference some things that I'm going to talk about. Take a look at these things after I get done speaking. Utilize the handbook to have a conversation with your teachers. Make sure you understand where I'm coming from. The reason I'm doing all this is I want to make sure that you don't have the chance to say I didn't know that. I want you to know everything you can know so the year is as smooth as it can be. If you reference that handbook, you're going to look at some things. The biggie in there is a progressive discipline chart. That chart is on page 50 of the handbook. Looks like this. It's small print, but if you look close, you can read it. The challenge with our discipline is the fact that we always have scenarios where people, unfortunately, do the same thing. And the first time they do it, we have to deal with them in a certain way. But the state of Indiana requires us to utilize a progressive discipline policy. In other words, if you do something one time, we're going to deal with it in a certain manner. If you do it the second time, the punishment's going to be a little more intense, and so on and so forth. So if you continue to revert back to behaviors that are inappropriate, we will discipline you in a different manner each time. It's a progressive policy. It'll be a little low to begin with, and after you get past situation 3, it starts to become pretty intense, is how we address you, and those consequences for your actions become pretty intense. So please look at that. That's on page 50. It's progressive discipline policy. In other words, when you do the thing wrong once, it's probably not going to be too awful. When you do it wrong the third time, it's going to get pretty intense. So please pay attention to that. Also, I want to talk to you briefly about hall passes. In your handbook, if you take a look at the calendar section where you have the dates listed, on the inside there are small tabs. Okay, those tabs will be the passes that you receive each week. You'll only get 2 of those, so make sure you use them wisely. That's what your passing period's for, to go to your restroom, to get things out of your locker. And we have a small building. That's a lot of time for 4 minutes. Okay, to get things done. 4 minutes is a great deal of time, especially when you're only going a short distance from class to class. So make sure you use that time wisely. Get to the restroom, get in and out of there quick. Don't hang out in our restrooms. We will periodically send staff members through to make sure that you're going in and going out, acting appropriately in there. So again, make sure you use those 4 minutes very wisely for passing period. Those tabs on your in your handbook, in your calendar, are the things that we will utilize for passes. And again, you only receive 2 of those a week, so make sure that is something you really manage well. Something else I'll talk about today are drills. We have a multitude of different drills that we're going to be going over here probably at the beginning of next week. The biggie, of course, is a fire drill. We practice that once a month. You'll also have a tornado drill. You'll have lockdown drills. You'll have an earthquake drill. All these drills are addressed in a different manner. The biggest thing about these drills, though, the common thread is the fact that you have to be quiet during these drills. When you leave the classroom, there should be no talking. You need to be able to listen to instruction. When you're in the stairwell, there should be no talking. You need to be able to listen to instruction. There will be times where I will block off exits, and you'll have to think or listen to what your teacher is going to instruct. If that individual that's leading the class, that teacher tells you to turn around and go a different way, you have to be quiet so you hear those things. There should be absolutely no chatter in the hall, no talking. It's imperative to keep you safe that we can communicate with you. Fire drills once a month. We'll do a lockdown drill. Lockdown basically consists of you will have a locked door in the classroom and you will be out of the line of sight. In other words, if someone tried to look through the window that's next to the door in each one of our classrooms, they wouldn't be able to see if there were individuals in that classroom. So you'll want to talk to your teachers about where the location is that you will be in a lockdown drill. You will also have an earthquake drill. I'll address that at a later date, but that's a situation where you basically hide under a desk or some type of structure that if something fell on your head, it wouldn't hurt you, and then we evacuate the building. So that's something else we'll cover. But all of these are basic, fundamental drills that have a common thread, which is being quiet and listening to directions. So make sure you understand that during these drills you are quiet. The last thing I'll talk about today is see it and say it. If you see something going on, tell somebody about it. That's the best way to keep our student body safe. You're the ones that will see things going on that teachers, myself, we won't see those things. So make sure you're communicating issues with everyone that you can. If you know something that's going on about bullying, tell a teacher, tell a staff member, fill out a paper. Make sure we know about it so we can fix it. If you know something that's happening you've heard about on Facebook that you know could possibly cause problems for our building, make someone aware. Anytime you have information that you think will make our system safer, please talk to us about it. You can come to me at any time. I have an open door policy. You can talk to Mr. Grog. He'll talk to you. You can talk to your teachers. You can talk to any staff member of this building, and we will make sure that that information you give us is held in confidence. We will do our best to never bring you into a situation that you've told us about, and you can also be guaranteed that it'll make the situation safer. It'll make our climate safer when we know that you've given us information. We need, again, communication from you to us, and we'll communicate from us to you as well. So again, today was extremely short compared to the other videos, but I want you to have an opportunity to get that handbook and read through it, look at it, ask questions of your teachers. Make sure that you feel comfortable with that information in there. That progressive policy that we talked about with discipline that I just reviewed, that's a biggie. You need to know that one, because I don't want anyone to ask me why they're getting in trouble for that or why that's the punishment. That's pretty much a given. It's in there. And I will say this, with that progressive policy, we also have within our guidelines that if you do something that is extremely bad under a certain umbrella of that information, we can go from level 1 to level 5 instantly if we feel like we need to. So we have that ability. We have that written in there. So if it's a bullying case that we feel like somebody might need to be suspended right off the top, we can do that. So make sure you're familiar with this information, but also understand that we have the ability to make a judgment call. I hope these have answered some questions, the information that I've given you. Please talk to your teachers, and I will talk to you again soon. Again, thank you for a great start. Keep up the good work.